Welcome to the Lexi and Josh Show podcast.
Wicka wicka. For spiritual gangsters who want a dose of the spiritual mixed with fun.
Like and subscribe so we can be best friends.
Nailed it.
And welcome back to another episode of the Lexi and Josh Show podcast, coming to you today, which is also still my birthday.
Yes, it is still Jai's birthday.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's the day that keeps on going.
That's right. We've got 10 more podcasts lined up today. Strap yourself in. We're going to be wearing the same clothes. All right, you got some stuff to talk to me about.
Okay, yeah. So
I promise I'll listen this time.
So I was thinking on the weekend. This was on Sunday, like when I was in Byron, and
name dropping.
Yeah, when I was in Byron. Yeah. If you want some places to go to, let me know. I'll recommend some.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it was Sunday night, and I was sitting there just thinking, like, how long is a second? Because a second can sometimes feel like ages, and then it can feel like it goes really fast sometimes.
Yeah.
And so, you know, if you go to, and I'm just going to use this example, but like, say you go to fall, like, you know, you trip and fall or something like that. There are times when that could happen and it's like instant. And then there's other times that can happen where you literally feel like you're in the Matrix.
Yeah. And
you're like, oh, I can do so. And it's like, I can do something about this right now to stop this from being really bad. Yes. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. I was pretty close to a car accident. Pretty close. It didn't actually happen.
Yeah. It was a near, they called it a near miss.
It was a near miss, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And time felt like it went forever. I had enough time to think that I've got my foot on the brake, that's not working.
Yeah.
I pulled the handbrake as well. Like, I had enough time to be able to do this, and it just, I avoided everything, and I thought, that's weird, man.
That's what I mean. It happens at these like crazy. I was driving, so when I to go on to that, when I was driving from like Gladstone up to Airlie one day years and years ago, and anyway, I fell asleep driving around like near kind of Proserpine. So I've fallen asleep. I woke up, I'm not kidding, it's like a split second, like before I was about to hit another car.
Yeah.
The other car was like, they just kept going, but I managed to, it felt like forever. I was like, oh, okay, I did something like 3 maneuvers.
Yeah.
And then, and like, you know, skid around, I'm like, oh, yep, cool. Got my handbrake, yep. And then stopped and pulled on the side of the road. And everyone that was there was just like, what the just happened? And I'm like, and I got out of the car and I was like, wow, that was lucky. Everyone's like, how are you okay? Like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, like I'm awake now.
Yeah, wow.
But it was just, like that. It felt like it just went forever.
Yeah.
I was like, God, how long do I have to keep turning this car? Like,
yeah, wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Turned into Dick Johnson.
I do not have those skills. Like,
well, evidently you do, mate.
Well, yeah.
What skills do you have, like, that are yours versus channeling? Like, what's the difference? You don't know.
That's true.
Could be anything.
Yeah, it's weird. Just like, but yeah, like those moments that just seem to last ages, and I don't feel like you can never kind of, and this is what I'm really interested in, is how you can, like, how can you identify when those moments are going to happen or when they're not? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, you can't. So
like,
I had
it's just shut down. No, that's not happening. Like,
no, but it's funny. Like, I had another near car accident. Right?
Yes.
So driving along Nicklin Way.
Yeah.
Where like suburban surf and stuff is on the left. Yeah. I'm in the left lane. There's a truck in the right lane, and that truck from the right lane turns left to go down a street where suburban surf, like just right in front of me. Right now, I had enough time. Like, because it felt like it went forever, as you said, where I thought, okay, I'm going to write off my car here. Like, I'm going to choose to write off my car.
Yeah.
I have gap insurance, could pay out the loan,
whatever. Yeah.
But then I thought, what if in doing so, I become paraplegic? I better not.
Yeah.
And then I put my foot on the brake and whatever and dodged it somehow. Again, which is technically impossible to do probably.
Yes.
But I had enough time to be able to think those things through.
That's what I mean. Like, you have so much time.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I'm like, is it just awareness, like, of the moment? But it's like, how do you... Because I've had, I go, I'm aware of my soul and everything like that. But, like, to slow down your perception of time.
Yeah.
That's next level.
Yeah.
I want to be there.
Did you know 1 million seconds is like 11 and a half days? And 1 billion seconds is like 36 years or something.
Oh my gosh.
It's the difference between 1 million and 1 billion. Crazy, hey?
That is crazy. Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And like 1 trillion is like 1,300 years or something.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, obviously, like, if you work out at the gym, you're fully aware of how long that second is. Like,
not really.
Hold the plank for longer, and you're like, far out. Like,
man, but I've had running sessions where it's gone for days, and it felt like it went for days. Didn't actually.
I'm like, were you doing like multi-day hikes? Like,
I ran across America. No biggie. But just like on a treadmill, and felt like let's say 1 kilometer.
Yeah.
Felt like it took forever.
Yeah.
And then I could not go past 1 kilometer. And then, but just in that zone, music on and whatever, and not thinking about it, and I've gone a lot further over a lot shorter time, but it felt like the same time. It's so weird.
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's exactly right. Like, you can go, oh, okay, I've done this, and then the next day or another moment of it, you're like, oh. Like, I have it with, like, there's an exercise where I do at the gym. It's called like a banded dead bug, where basically it's like a crunch kind of thing with a band. And it's like the first time I know, like, when I was doing it, I'm like, oh yeah, it was like 2 minutes. I'm like, far out, like, it feels like forever. And the other day it was like 10 minutes. I'm just like, what was I even doing?
Yeah.
Like, it didn't even feel, and then it didn't feel like that. It didn't feel like that long. I honestly thought, I was like, oh, I'm probably going for like about. I checked my timer, because I'm like, oh, it's probably at like 4 minutes now. You can probably stop.
Yeah.
How did it get to 10?
Yeah. Yeah. And
like, is this broken? Like,
that's literally why. And every episode, I'm asking Shane how long we're up to. I've got no clue.
Yeah.
No clue.
What even
time is so weird.
I feel like he wants to chime in. Do you want to?
Yeah.
chime
Sorry,
in,
Shane. Sorry for interrupting.
I actually didn't, but I do have. I actually do have a story, and I suppose you can relate to. We could find out a little experiment, see how many of your listeners actually ride motorbikes. And quite a few bike riders that I've spoken to have a very similar experience where you maybe, like, say, if you ride a lot. Like, one time I was coming home from work and I was riding through the mountains, sort of hills around here. But anyway, I was coming into a corner. I was tired and I was coming in like way too fast, and there was a big, like, I wasn't gonna survive if I came off the hill. And in that second, I was like, I'm gonna die. And then it seemed like time actually stops.
Yeah.
And in that, I realized that I was going to die, and then I sort of had this thought in my head, well, I'm not going to die because I'm going to choose to live through this. Yeah. And it's like you look through the corner and you just decide on the line that your bike's going to take, and then you force it through. And then as you come out the other side, you go, I actually could have gone through there way faster. And
yeah.
And also it seemed like it took half an hour to go through that corner.
Yeah.
Where every other corner, it's like only a matter of moments. But it seemed like I ran a whole conversation through my head, and I was able to concentrate on the bike and ride it through the corner. And then even at the other side, like I said, I was like, I could have been going way faster.
Yeah.
But I was like, yeah.
I'm really curious to know what, like, for our listeners, like, because you talk to people and they go, oh yeah, they fully know what you mean.
Yeah.
So I'm like, so what even is time? I mean, I know it's a man-made construct, but like what is this?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I tell you what, I do have a theory about what you said there, Shane, and I believe that you died at that moment, and I believe that I died in probably at least one of those accidents, and we are just moving on to different timelines.
It's quantum immortality.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So true.
In
Speaking to a dead person.
Oh
yeah.
That's like that. That's not you. Like, yeah, and like, wait, oh my god, this is like the Sixth Sense, where like I find out that that my husband.
Hey, spoiler alert!
The whole time.
Spoiler alert!
Yeah. Oh yeah. Spoiler alert.
Far out.
Right. Now I'm not going to watch
show's only like 20. The show's only like 20 years old.
It was on Netflix tonight. I was going to watch it.
I didn't even think of that.
Nor should you. It's
Yeah,
a 30-year-old movie.
It's really old, yeah. Like, if you haven't watched Sixth Sense and that's ruined it for you, like, sorry, but I don't know where you've been or what you've been doing in your life. But it brings me into...
I've got a theory on it as well, though.
Okay.
Sorry to interject.
Yeah, no.
But I think time is just another, like, sense or, like, dimension. So that, like, you know how
Yes.
you can go up and down, forwards and backwards, but you also, like, time is, like, another thing. And you can
Time
go
is
forwards.
the fourth dimension.
But but the problem with it is, and that's kind of obvious when you say it like that. But
Thank you.
Now I don't even know what I'm saying. No, what I mean is we don't actually understand. Like, our brain doesn't get it in the same way as different animals can see more colours or less colours than we can.
Yeah. Isn't there a shrimp that can see like 100 and something?
Don't bring shrimps into this.
Yeah, probably.
But it's like a rainbow shrimp or something?
Yeah,
or like
how do they know?
That's the part that gets me as well. I'm like, how can you say that that's what they do on the spectrum? Like, they have a colour spectrum like that when... Like, how do you know?
You don't.
It's
not possible. I'm sure it's not possible. Don't Google it.
Don't Google it.
That same
we don't need to know about the rainbow.
Also understands how time works.
Yeah.
And it's looking up at the humans just going, these idiots.
Yeah, stop trashing my ocean.
Yeah.
Okay, so, all right. Well, basically, we know that, like, time then is a thing, but isn't a thing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, because it's your birthday today, so I was thinking, if you've got, like, your past and your future are, like, essentially all happening in the present, like happening now. So technically not past and present. Past and future, but you get. Hopefully everyone understands what I'm saying. So the fact that everything's happening now. Do you think that you have birthdays on every other day of the year?
I try to, but Kelly won't let me.
You get what I mean, though, because it's today.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that means that Shane would have to buy me a present every day.
Yeah.
Sick.
Yeah, that's right. And it also means you would be hella old.
That's what I'm saying. So technically, I could not be 34 years old. I'm really old. I don't know the maths there, but like, really old.
Yeah. Like my age.
So I could just tell people. So essentially, I could then just say that I'm Fae, or like I'm an elf, or something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But do you feel like you could have in different dimensions that you could have different versions of yourself would have a birthday on every other day?
Mm-hmm. That's out there. Never ever thought about like that.
You get what I mean?
It
how
would
much
have to be that.
There would have to be. Listeners, I don't really know what this is getting to really, but I just wanted to discuss it because I was interested.
If one of those rainbow shrimp is listening to this.
Yeah, well, anyway, that's just what I wanted to talk about because I was thinking about it because it's your birthday and I'm like, well, could have been your birthday yesterday.
This is a little awkward, but my birthday was 365 days ago.
And
Sorry to break it
happy
to you.
belated birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. What was it, 364?
What were we saying about the months?
Oh, yes. Okay, so I saw this thing on TikTok.
Okay.
So, you know, it's
Source
legit.
of all information, yeah.
This professor guy, this is his professional name.
Yeah.
Professor Guy said, well, that there's this theory with you know, back 100 years ago with the Gregorian calendar, that they did it to put people out of their natural rhythm and connection with the planet. So I don't know how true that is, but it kind of also makes sense because they're saying that there's meant to be 13 months of the year. So essentially also like 13 astrological signs. So 13 months because your 1 month is one moon cycle, which is 28 days.
Yeah, man, that makes way more sense than our stupid calendar.
Right? So when I saw it, I was like, that actually feels like not even just like going, oh yeah, it's on TikTok, but I started looking it up and I was like, this feels right.
Yeah.
Like the start of the month is the new moon.
Yeah.
Like the end of the month is the full moon. Like what? You know what I mean? Sorry, the new moon goes to the new moon again. But you know what I mean saying? Like it should be the same.
Yeah. New moon to new moon or full moon to full moon?
So it would be full moon to full moon. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yes, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it should be.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense as the calendar is.
Yeah. Right
now. And when I saw that, I'm like, well, that's true, because then you are like, I can talk to people and go, oh, you know, so the full moon, and they're like, oh, when's the full moon? And after I saw that video, I was like, holy crap, like,
yeah, people
are really not connected with nature or not tuned in. Even myself, like, there's times when I'm like, oh shit, when's the full moon? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like, like you go back like thousands of years or whatever, and it's like our ancestors or whoever was here, it's like, they were totally like, everything was mapped out with the stars, with the sky, with the moon, like, you know what I mean? Like the Mayan calendar, like it's crazy.
So that means that I would, in essence, be about 2.5 years younger than I am, which means still in my 30s. Right on.
Yeah.
Yep. For all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
Still in my 30s.
You're like, so now we are on a 30-month calendar.
Yeah. Well, Lexi actually showed me this just before Easter, and I've been obsessed with it since. I completely think it's true. So now I think that it's time for us to have a change, and we change it all to metric. So we have 1,000 days in the year, 100 days in a month, 10 days in a...
Yep, why not?
Because Shane's whole thing was, he's like, but why is that a year? Shane's whole thing was like, but why, like, okay, 13 months, 28 cycles. He goes, who's decided that it's like, it's 364 days or 365, sorry, like days, like a year? Like, who's, you know? I'm like, it definitely wasn't me. So I'm not responsible.
I was busy that day.
Yeah. But I do understand the question.
Didn't you tell me it was because there was like 13 is actually like a really good number, and it was at the same time that they brought in that 13 was supposed to be a bad number.
They tell people that 13 is evil, 13's a bad number, but apparently 13 is it's quite a strong magic number in terms of the universe and divine and that kind of thing. It's hard to get information on it, because as soon as you start looking up, there's so much information about how bad 13 is that you have to like really dig for it. It's crazy.
That's misinformation.
Yeah, exactly. Just like, you know, spells or which, you know, back then, like with witchcraft spells, that would have been like, you know, basically a naturopathy, or like, you know, going, oh, here, these herbs will help fix you. But yeah.
And whether they work or not, or whether they're a placebo, still,
it's at that point's redundant.
Yeah. if it's a placebo and it still works, then whatever, I'll take the placebo.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's working.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You're like, well, this works
It
for
was a
me.
sugar pill, but it cured my cancer. So.
How crazy is it though? Just on that, people have gone. Oh yeah, I've gone. Like they've gone into studies and stuff, and then they have placebo. Like they have a sugar pill, and it cures them. And then when they get told that it was the placebo,
yeah,
they then get it back.
Yeah.
It's like you just cured that yourself. Like
yeah.
And they're going, oh no, I should have got a pill. What? What?
Yeah,
Anyway,
it's crazy, hey.
What else do we have to talk about? Because I was thinking.
Shane had a question in regards to the awakening and seeing spirits.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, from our last podcast. It was a while ago, so.
Yeah, that's. Cast my mind back.
Yeah.
I actually meant to speak with you about it, Lexi, and then I completely forgot because it happened really noticeably, probably about 6 weeks or so ago.
Mm-hmm.
It happened it's been happening since, and then I've just kind of.
Is that 6 Gregorian weeks?
Thanks, just to clarify.
Yeah. It's not sure which calendar you're running off.
In metric. Okay, sorry, Shane, continue.
In my metric weeks, it was just yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, with your awakening and that sort of thing, as you become more tuned into yourself, I've noticed that I'm like way more tuned into how other people are feeling, and I notice that I'll get like a really strong, say I'll feel like happy or nervous or like even just angry or something, and I'm kind of like, oh, and I'll have like no good reason for why I feel it, and it wasn't until like, when I say about maybe 6 weeks or so ago, where I was like, oh, that's not me, that's you. That's very clearly coming from that person, but I didn't notice until it was, well, actually one of the first time I noticed it was because it was like Lexi, and she actually like told me. I'm like, oh. Yeah. Because I was wondering why the hell I actually felt, I forget whether you were annoyed or something, and she said like, I'm like really annoyed right now. I'm like, ah. And then like, and then the nervous one was another really big one. Like I'm going to, I was going to have a role, like a jiu-jitsu spar with somebody. And I just felt like this wave of like nerves just hit me, and I'm just like, huh? You just start, I feel your nerves.
Yeah, feeling.
So it's just so my question was going to be, does that mean that like my natural thing would be like an empath sort of thing, or?
It is certainly empathic.
Yeah, definitely.
100%.
You'd be, I think I've spoken to you about this before, but you'd be, you are clair-empathic and clairsentient. Like you're very feelings-based, massively. Yeah.
But I also don't seem to have the speaking to my guides kind of thing as much, you know, and I don't seem to hear, but I do get the other people's feelings and that, like almost to an overwhelming extent. But then even like, if I'm like, I want to speak to my guides, it's like I really have to kind of,
because I'll talk to you after, but basically it's a good question though, because people would ask this. The reason that feels hard is because if you're not working on the clair that you've got more awareness on, then it's going to be more difficult for you to be receiving messages, because you're not doing it through your main channel. Like you know what I mean? It's like you're trying to talk on the phone to someone when you're receiving an email, like to put it in like a media kind of sense. So you need to make sure that you're both talking on the phone or you're both sending emails. Like, do you know what I mean? So that's where it starts to get a little bit tricky. The more awareness that you put on yourself amplifies the abilities that you've already got more awareness on. So everyone has psychic abilities, but your clairsentience and your clair-empathy are stronger for you. So for you to communicate with your guides and receive messages, you want to be able to you want to be feeling it. You're not going to hear it. You know, your clairaudience and your clairvoyancy they're not going to be as strong. They will come through later, but they're not going to be they're not your primary.
It only comes through
focus.
if you work on your primary.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's what you want to do.
Thanks.
That's okay.
But yeah, clearly empathic, but the issue that I've found of late with so many people waking up is people who never realized that they were empathic that now feel everything.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're like, I just thought I was a bit sensitive. It's like,
or not even that. Even people who didn't think that they were sensitive at all now feel very sensitive to all that sort of stuff, and it's shocking for them. You know? Yeah,
I can understand that. I used to be really sensitive, and then I literally just shut down. I did the shut down, and like one of my nicknames used to be Ice Queen.
How do you do the shutdown?
I shut down in the sense that I was like, nah, no more. I'm not listening to yous. I'm not talking to yous. I don't want to see yous.
Yeah.
Like, get lost.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's literally what I did when I was like 18. But so yeah, one of my, and because feelings based, I didn't want to be picking up on people's feelings, so I just started I just put like a wall there in a way. And yeah, one of my nicknames was Ice Queen.
Yeah, okay.
People used to go like, Elsa. Oh my gosh, like you're not. Yeah. So I was the queen of letting go. Yeah, but that was something that I did. And then when everything came in again and was like, nah, you've put this on hold long enough, like you know, you've had your fun.
Yeah.
Here we go. Yeah, that was pretty intense for me, because I was just like, I was very much like, I don't get caught up in feelings. Like, what are you on about? And then I was like, holy crap.
Yeah.
I'm like, why am I drowning?
Yeah, full on.
Yeah. So I can understand that people would be experiencing that. It is pretty full on.
Oh, man. And which is why the course that we do is so important, because we get to guide them through it in real time. And it's why the Soul Tribe is so important that we have as well.
Yeah.
Because they get to have opinions from people in the same position or that have been through it, and
also we get to share funny memes.
Yes, that is also true.
Which bring laughter to you and make you feel better. I love our Soul Tribe. I reckon we've got such a great group of people.
Yeah.
Like
people that you can lean on, which is good.
Yeah, and it's good because I think me being me being an expert, you being an expert, sometimes it can feel like the pressure, it can feel a little bit hard it starts to switch, and it starts to feel like it's a bit harder to express a vulnerability, in the sense that like, I'm human, I'm having a human moment, I'm kind of struggling with this or whatever, you know. I don't know if you like, I've had that a few times, and it's really cool because with our Soul Tribe, like I feel like I can say, yep, so having a human moment, like having a bit of a moment, and just
unfiltered stuff.
Exactly, and like the level of support there is awesome. Like, and just understanding. Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, it's cool. Anyway, sorry, we're getting off track with how awesome our group is. Yeah.
Oh man, I forgot what I was going to talk about now.
Tracy.
Oh yeah, so the course.
Hello, Tracy. You're amazing.
Yeah, you are amazing, Tracy. So, okay, so the course that we've got, obviously the you end up knowing your soul's purpose. What I've found is people who have been through this, who are going through this course, they are expecting that at the end of the course they sit down with you or me and go, okay, now your soul's purpose is a garbage collector. Like something like that, you know,
like we've cleared all this, we've awakened you, we've got you to this point, now this is what your soul which is not the case, as we found out with Tracy. She's only 5 weeks into this course. We've done a lot of clearing, a lot of healing, and all that sort of stuff, and she's open to the universe. She's amazing.
She has already been shown her soul's purpose from the universe, and it is the most brilliant thing ever.
I love that I'm smiling. Guys, can you hear that I'm smiling? I'm so ecstatic.
Yeah, it's just it's amazing. 5 weeks into a 10-week course.
I know. She's like halfway in and is already like, boom, this is what I'm doing. It's like,
so beautiful.
It's epic.
Yeah. And And it's the most random things too. Like, she could never have, at the start of the course, she could never have gone, oh man, if I think about this, it could have really been presented this way. Like, I could, there's no way on earth. She doesn't know these people. Has no idea. Like, they just come out due to her vibration and
because they do. It's just like this massive. You just become this massive magnet.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, oh, okay, this is what I'm thinking of. This is what I'm feeling. And it's like, bang.
Yeah.
Like.
Oh, it's just so exciting, and just to see the excitement on in Tracy's voice, and I don't know, it's just liberating, you know.
Yeah.
So cool.
I think like when you have those moments, you just really sit there and you go, man, like. This is what we're like. This is what we're doing with people. You know.
Yeah.
It's this next level. It's like we're helping just like show them a path so that they can shine their light on the world as well. It's pretty freaking special.
But man, like 5 weeks. That's like, I know it can happen at any time. But
that's pretty impressive.
That's gonna be a record, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because soul's purpose, that's big.
Yeah, man,
it's a big thing. Like it's a big thing to uncover and to know. So that's so cool.
Yeah.
Well, we probably better wrap it up though.
Okay.
You know.
Thank you again for joining us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time.
Yes, love and light. Peace.